We have a quorum. I will call the meeting to order. Before we begin, I would like to welcome our new member, Jeff Winter. And if we'll go around the circle, and if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, and we will all reciprocate.
Well, my name is Jeff Winter. I was born in Clay County here. I grew up 5 miles northeast of town here. Graduated Mord High in 1979. And then me and my wife bought a place on the Buffalo River like 10 miles northeast of here. Been there 40 years. I recently retired from American Crystal Sugar with 45 years of service there. Was on the Mullen Township Hall board there for 18 years. Just real interested in Clay County and the history, and it's always been kind of a passion of mine to stay involved with the community, and looking forward to it.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Kurt? Just a brief.
My name is Kurt Sherman. I'm a retired Oakport Township resident, and I'm on the Oakport Township board. And I've been on here a couple terms.
Sebastian McDougall, Moorhead City Council, been lifelong Moorhead resident as long as I can remember almost.
Dave Steichen, live in Dilworth, work at the post office in Fargo, was on the city planning. I'm on the city council now, and about 30 years in Dilworth.
Joe Hildebrandt. I'm on the Southern Water Board also, Eglin Township resident, been here for 18 years.
Laura Johnson, representing the Downer area, and Elton Township Clerk for the last 14 years, keeping busy with that, otherwise retired.
Jenny Mojo, I'm on the Clay County Commission. I've been serving in that capacity for 11 years. I represent the southern half of Clay County. Really grateful for the opportunity for you to serve in this capacity. It's certainly one of the most varied but enjoyable committees I serve on.
Joshua Schrader, representing Barnesville. I've lived there for 19 years now. I've been on the city planning and zoning for 4 or 5 years. Just still in my first year on county planning and zoning. So.
Thank you. Moving on to business. Hopefully everybody had a chance to peruse their packets. I received mine yesterday, so I still didn't get the planning commission stuff from last month. But if everybody's had a chance to go through them and read them and has no additions or corrections, or additions to the agenda, would look for a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Sebastian, second by Kurt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. Minutes from March 17th. Same thing. Anybody have any additions or corrections? Seeing none, look for a motion to approve the minutes as printed.
So moved.
Motion by Josh, seconded by Laura. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. Citizens to be heard. Is there anyone in the audience or online that wishes to speak with something that is not on the agenda? Is there anyone in the audience or online that wishes to speak to something that is not on the agenda? Is there anyone in the audience or online that wishes to speak to something that is not on the agenda or online? Thank you. Okay, our first public hearing of the evening is R.J. Zavro and Sons request for an interim use permit. Applicant is requesting an interim use permit for 38-acre gravel mine at 11100 290th Street South in Hawley. on parcel ID 24.036.2500, the northwest quarter of the east half, southwest quarter, and the northwest quarter of the southeast quarter, section 36, township 138N, range 44W, Park Township. Look for motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
By Laura, seconded by Kurt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Public hearing is open. Take it away, Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, this is a request for an interim use permit for mining. The applicant is RJ Zavrel and Sons, and the owner of the property is the Bang RLT. So this property is located in the southeast corner of Clay County, just on the southeast edge of Park Township as well. It's a 280-acre parcel. It's about a half-mile north of County State Aid Highway 6, right kind of at the close to the Becker line there. The base zoning of this property is agricultural general. Then it does have some overlay zoning, so resource protection aggregate, and then resource protection biological as well. It does have a pretty extensive use history. So in 2009, there was a CUP for a 35-acre mine and a temporary batch plant. In 2012, there's a CUP for a underground high voltage electric transmission line that kind of runs along the north end of the property. In 2015, an interim use permit for a 39-acre gravel mine and a temporary asphalt batch plant. Then in 2021, a interim use permit for a temporary asphalt batch plant. And then also in 2021, an interim use permit for a 25-acre pit expansion. And that was what expired, it expires May 1st of this year. So the request is just to open up a 38 acres for mining and processing. All these activities would occur within the existing mining footprint. They're seeking at times from March to December, Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Really looking to extract and process class material, hot mix asphalt aggregates, concrete aggregates, and riprap. There would be some washing that is on site. It's not expected to exceed that 10,000 gallon per day limit. If they were to exceed that, that would require a DNR water appropriations permit. And so this orange area is kind of where the remaining deposit is located. So this will be the main mining area. They have 2 site accesses, so they can do kind of a loop, kind of ingress, egress there. They do have it phased out into a stockpile area, 3 mining phases, and then an area for washing. And then the haul route would be south and then either east or west on CASA 6. There is one residence at the corner. This resident also has a use permit for a kennel, like a dog kennels as well. Just some recent pictures of the property. Some considerations, dust control. I did think there was illegal dumping occurring on the site, but it's actually the owner, so it's not illegal. And they are going to clean that up. Consistent operating hours, you got to think about that, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., hauling only on Saturdays. That's kind of what you've put as conditions on every mining permit. We didn't receive any comments. Do want to touch base on their reclamation plan. It was pretty detailed in the application, but one thing I do want to note is this area to the north, that will need to be reclaimed by Knife River. They're the current operators in this pit, and they mined essentially this area here to the north, and they also mined kind of all of this as well. Zavrel does not plan on going any further north in this blue line, so we'll just need to do some coordination with Zavrel to make sure we know where exactly the north extent of their pit boundary is. It might be just staking it out or something like that on site. Dust control, again, pretty important on this road, especially at the corner where this residence is located. As far as our comprehensive plan goals and objectives, we have a goal to foster a balanced approach to aggregate resource extraction that is compatible with the natural resources and rural character of Clay County, and to require adequate buffering and landscaping for new mining operations when adjacent to existing residential areas, as well as when an existing operation expands or is substantially modified and would negatively impact existing land uses. There is about 2,000 feet between the operation and the nearest residence, existing berming in place. They're looking at modifying the berm just to eliminate or reduce any further impacts. The previous operator did go into this RP biological, go back to this, zoning. They're not planning on expanding any further into this, and so thought here is that that's fine as long as there's no further expansion. This whole area too was also classified as disturbed land, so it's not actually high value. There's not any really high value ecological resources in this disturbed land classification anyway. Further to the south, that is a different story. That is kind of a dry gravel, dry sand prairie, which there's probably only 300 some acres of left in the entire county. So it's a little more of a rare natural community. We also have a objective to avoid or mitigate against impacts to groundwater, surface water, native prairie, woodlands, and wetlands. There aren't any wetlands in the mining area. Depth of groundwater is about 50 feet on average, so you have to go pretty far down to hit the groundwater. Again, those encroachments into that resource protection biological overlay zoning district were already discussed. Really doesn't have an intact native plant community in that area. As far as objective for reclamation, we do have a requirement for phased-in reclamation plans and bonds to ensure mines are reclaimed as mining progresses. So Knife River does have a bond on the property that's active. Recommend working with them to keeping that open until that's reclaimed. RJ Zavral's estimates the reclamation cost to be $2,000 an acre. And then we have an objective to consider the cumulative impacts of existing nearby mining operations for new or expanding operations on the environment, ag lands, residential areas, and transportation infrastructure. Really, this area has a history of mining activity, and this mine is not anticipated to go outside the existing footprint of what's open. Any questions for me at all?
Mr. Chair and Matt, looking at the history, 2009, there was a CUP gravel temporary batch plant. Was there a lapse in use, or did the 35 acres of gravel mine get mined?
Yeah, most of this north end of this property here has been mined and reclaimed already, so it's kind of been a sequential, kind of starting here and moving, or starting here and, yeah, and it's been mined up here, it's been mined here, so there's been several areas of the property that have been mined.
And then when you go to the screen with the blue line bordering the north edge of their projected.
Yeah, it's roughly,
Now, is that north of that? So south of that's going to be mined, is that correct?
yes.
What's going on north of that blue line? Same thing?
North of the blue line right now, this would need to be reclaimed.
It's just sitting there, right?
It's just sitting there right now. Yep.
And that's what the bond is still valid?
Yes. Yep. Just for this area. So I'll need to work with the with RJ Zavral to determine where exactly this line is, so we can make sure that the responsible parties are reclaiming, and there aren't any gaps in reclamation.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so is the Border States pit a different pit, or is this on the east side of 290th?
This is the Border States pit is on the west side.
Okay. So
Yep.
this is where I thought it was in. It's
Yep.
challenging to get to look at. You can't get
It
there
is.
from the north. You can see both gates, but you can't get there.
Yep.
say that dog kennel is right there. So dust control that first or last 100 yards or whatever you're gonna call it. So in your notes, you had that Zavril is current on their gravel tax with the county.
Correct.
Is their pit in Hagan Township 100% compliant at this point?
That's my understanding, yes, but from our last inspection, yeah.
Okay. And is the pit that they're looking at, is that currently compliant? I know when Zavril took over the pit in Hagan Township, there was some issues even before they came in.
I don't foresee any issues with this pit, just because it's been permitted to so many times, yep, so,
Okay, so the berms are where they're supposed to be?
Yep.
And
yep.
okay, that was my notes. Anybody else have any questions for Matt?
Thank you. On the interim use mining permit, number 24, it talks about describe methods to be used for dust control, and just says it would be applied as deemed necessary. And just curious, who would deem that necessary? Is that like the resident that would live by there would request additional dust control, or?
Okay, no. Matt, would you care to answer that?
Typically, we will either, if we're out inspecting, and we see dust control, a need for dust control, we'll call, because we can't be at every pit all the time. We typically we'd get a call from, either nearby resident or someone who's traveling on the road, just to let us know. We'll go check it out and then make that determination.
Thank you.
Yep.
But that landowner, that dog kennel, that landowner there certainly would be probably the first person to call if there was too much dust there. But I don't know if you're familiar with that part of
Yeah.
Clay County at all, but there's 3 pit, I mean, if there's a lot of dust, it's not just gonna affect that house, it's gonna affect all the company formerly known as Aggregate. I mean, there's other companies hauling, Border States is currently hauling out of that pit, down that road.
Using that, yeah.
Yeah, and I will say to you, Mr. Chair and Mr. Winter, there are gravel companies and operators that are very proactive, and they have good working relationships with the nearby residences to the point where they have each other's phone numbers and things like that. So there's an issue, the neighbor can always, oftentimes we won't even hear about it because it's been resolved between the neighbor and the operator.
Which is the best way.
Right, absolutely. Thank you.
Hearing no other questions or comments for Matt, would the applicant care to step forward and come to the mic? Make sure you got a green light and state your name for the record and.
My name is Tracer Bauer. With me today, I have Dale Johnson. Good evening, Commission. As I said, I'm Tracer. I'm a project manager with RG Zavril and Sons. I also handle most of our environmental compliance kind of in the off-season and throughout the construction season as well. Dale will be the on-site manager, I guess, of this facility. And we're just here today, seeking your approval for this IUP for an aggregate production facility at this time. We seem to work well together in Hagan Township, and we expect this to be no different here. Matt talked about communication between operators and adjacent landowners. That's something that we're certainly familiar with. Jeff Brooks is another one of our aggregate managers. He sees more of the green pit up in Hagan Township, but yeah, we're here to coexist and maintain a good relationship with everybody involved. So we can answer any questions if you have any as well. Thank you, everyone.
Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak for or against? Come to the podium and state your name for the record, please.
Chris Bang. I just wanted to let you know with the dust control situation, we have a working relationship with Mr. Riddle that lives there, and tell him whenever he's got a problem, we tell him to call us and we'll get, and Zavrals know about that. That's how it was with Knife River. So it gets taken care of before anyone, that's the main, a lot of dust on that road, like you said, when Border States are hauling out there now, and they haven't been dust controlled. Well, they've been trying, but it should be dust controlled right now. But when they're working on our pit, it gets taken care of. Just wanted to let you guys know that, so.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience or online that wishes to speak for or against? Is there anyone in the audience or online that wishes to speak for or against? Is there anyone else in the audience or online that wishes to speak for or against? Hearing none, look for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Sebastian. Seconded by Laura. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Public hearing is closed. And you have a different format in our packets tonight. Did you? Go through the. I guess it is the same there. Okay, well, you've got a review. Yeah, okay, just use the simple one. Okay. The interim use will not be injurious to the health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the residents of Clay County. This is a site that's been mined for a long time. Do you feel the need to read all the paragraphs?
Mr. Chair, certainly up to you, but if, I would say just to go through it and look for a general agreement, or if anyone has any comments, just give them the opportunity to make those.
Does anyone disagree with that sentence? I'm seeing lots of, no comments, but lots of head shaking no, so thank you. The interim use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity for the purpose already permitted.
The site has already been used by multiple people and multiple organizations, so it'll be just a continuation of what's been going on.
And with the landowner and the applicant stating for the record that they would be on top, and you saying that the kennel people have your number. I agree. Okay, thank you. The establishment of the interim use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvements of surrounding property for the uses predominant in the area. There is no development other than gravel mining or batch plants. Adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide utilities, access roads, drainage, and off-street parking and loading spaces as required by the ordinance.
All of these have been done. They're just going to continue in a little bit different location on the same pit.
Adequate measures have been or will be taken to prevent or control offensive odor, fumes, dust, noise, vibration, water pollution, and soil erosion, so that none of these will constitute a nuisance, and to control lighted signs or other lights in such a manner that no disturbance to neighboring properties will result. Yeah, that's been covered, that house is over 2,000 feet away, and the dust has been. The interim use will not create an excessive burden on current or anticipated public infrastructure or services that serve or are proposed to serve the area, including but not limited to parks, schools, public safety, services, roads, water supply, sanitary sewers, storm sewers, unless the county and the applicant establish a development agreement that determines how such impacts will be resolved. There's nothing out there but wind towers and
Yeah.
Buffalo to the north and the east, and the interim use is allowed by this ordinance and conforms with any specific use standards established in Chapter 8, which is the user regulations, as may be applicable.
This use can conform to the use and overlay standards, if approved, is limited to the area that's for the overlays.
In that specific 35 or 30.
Right.
The interim use is consistent with the goals and objectives of the Clay County Comprehensive Plan and Transportation Plan, and any comprehensive plan of a township or city as may be applicable. And yes, we need to mine aggregates in our area. We also need to take care of homeowners. I think that is being done. Okay. So we have all A's on the findings of fact, and staff has.
So, Mr. Chair, these draft conditions, they're essentially taken from the previous interim use permit. They've been modified just a little bit to fit kind of the current application and project. One thing I'd maybe recommend is taking off this 14 about the dumping, because the landowner's gonna do that. So, and it's their material. The only other thought I had was about this 14, just a reclamation plan map, just so we could maybe see kind of where that northern boundary might be, and that would probably have to be followed up with like a site visit and have them stake it out. So I don't know if you want to get more specific about that or not. It's up to you. I don't foresee having an issue working with Zavril on that if it's not a condition. And I don't think it needs to be a condition.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
So we could maybe take that one off.
Mr. Chair, I don't believe that needs to be there either.
Okay.
Do we need to adjust the hours to match what we've currently been doing?
Oh, yeah, that was.
That's 6 to 9, number 12?
That was my other, gonna be my other question. This is what it was on the previous permit. Would you like this permit to match?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Like, permit to match what we've been doing.
Correct.
Other outfits, in Clay County. And again, that they would need to not saying they can't ever go later, longer, more days. They just have to communicate with the office. That is, one of the good things about mining out there is that the infrastructure, the road is there, and Clay County actually had a squad parked in Rolog again yesterday, making sure that you weren't going 60 through there.
Mr. Chair and Matt, on the red line for number 2, the previous one is struck out as within 100 feet. Now it's no mining to encroach any further. Is it already into that resource protection a little bit?
Into that area that's marked disturbed land, yeah.
And they understand that? I mean, I guess they'll have to agree to that.
Yeah, and we can, yeah. And based on their current mining plan, there's no plan to encroach any further into it. And that's something that was again done by a previous operator a
Okay.
while ago.
Okay, does the applicant see and understand and able to work with the conditions as printed? Yes. Okay, I can see you, I can't see his head, so. Okay,
Mr. Chair. I have been on this board for a while, and as we looked through those past actions in this particular area, I've had the opportunity to be part of most of those hearings after 2012, and this is not a pit that has been problematic. The landowners have been really responsive if any issues come up. So I have no concerns with that moving forward.
thank you.
I agree with Commissioner Mojo.
Okay, hearing nothing further, look for a motion to approve or deny.
Mr. Chair, I'll offer a motion to approve the interim use permit,
Motion by Commissioner Mojo with conditions 1 through 13.
as noted. Yep.
I'll second.
And a seconded by Sebastian. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Permit is approved. Thank you, everyone. I have one other question now that it's full. How long is the asphalt plant permit good for in Hagan Township at the existing pit? You know, Matt?
That's something I'd have to look at and get back to you. But it sounds like someone in the audience might know.
Yeah.
I have a sneaking suspicion.
Okay, because I thought we did it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think we did, I don't remember if we did, I was asking because I don't remember if we did 3 years or 5 years, so.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Our second public hearing is something initiated by the Clay County Board of Commissions, or,
Well, I can I can explain it once we,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, look to, open the second hearing regarding the Clay County Land Development and Subdivision Ordinance Amendment, Vacation Home Rental Change. Look for a motion to open the public hearing.
So offered, Mr. Chair.
Motion by Jenny,
Second.
seconded by Kurt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Public hearing is open. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, this is I guess, a county-initiated amendment to the land development ordinance, so it didn't come from an applicant at all. The amendment is pretty simple. It's to add vacation home rental as an administrative use in specified districts where residential uses are allowed, adopt definitions and performance standards, and require a development permit with, in addition to a lodging licensing before any operation. So I guess getting to why this is coming up, we don't currently address vacation home rentals. We don't have a lot in Clay County. We're not like some other counties. If you go further east or into Lakes Country, we don't have as many as like an Otter Tail County or a Becker or Hubbard. There was some changes that took place in 2026 regarding the administration of lodging licensing with our community health board. Used to be a partnership among 4 counties. Now we're down to a partnership with Becker County. And so some of the licensing, the way the lodging licensing will be a little bit different. And so talking with environmental health staff, thought this would be a good opportunity to address both the two sides of this coin. So the first is there's a zoning side, and then the second side of the coin being the lodging licensing side that's basically required through the Department of Health. And really what we're looking to address on since there's going to have to be an update on the lodging licensing, thought it was a good opportunity to do the zoning side of it as well. Really looking to address just a lack of definitions, use permissions, permit standards, any way to handle or deal with potential complaints for short-term rentals. We have permitted some short-term rentals in Clay County, basically though through the home occupation permit route. So that would be where the person who is doing the renting actually lives on site. This would address, we also have kind of a bed and breakfast use, which is maybe a little more antiquated, and that's pretty specific. This would address someone who is basically using the property as like a rental property and not living on site at all. Kind of so there's a little bit of a gap there. And so right now in our code, we don't define vacation home rental. We don't list it in our use table. We don't have any standards. We're basically looking to address that just so we have a kind of a clear review and enforcement framework for short-term rentals, and to give property owners some regulatory certainty around this, because we have had some inquiries as well about this. I think folks that would like to do more of this in Clay County would like to see some sort of framework for how that would operate. So really just looking at adding 3 definitions to the development code: owner, an agent, and a vacation home rental. And then performance standards. And so first being that you'd require a lodging license. Second, just limiting it to 1 unit per parcel. Noise, so quiet hours essentially following the 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., which is conforms to the Minnesota noise pollution rules. Parking, making sure that a property has adequate parking. Knowledge of where the property lines are, so any active, so the people who are renting know where the property begins and ends. Just some general standards about just outdoor areas, mainly related to noise and adjacent property. And then just some safety things like contact information, sewage treatment, solid waste collection, pets, and then access for inspection mainly by the county environmental health as needed. Could also add in an optional standard that would prohibit the use of recreational vehicles, tents, fish houses as vacation home rentals, or using that to obtain an increase in occupancy. Essentially, the issue with this could be there are some short-term rentals or vacation rentals who would use like a camper as like a way to increase their occupancy, but then they wouldn't have the appropriate septic for that. Excuse me. Some considerations, I did check, and this would not, even though this would be a new use in shoreland areas, it wouldn't be considered an amendment to our shoreland ordinance. Did check with the sheriff's office. They have not received any complaints or calls for service regarding vacation home rentals. We don't exactly know what the number of vacation home rentals in Clay County is. Some counties pay for like a license to software that allows them to figure it out, but I don't think we're not to the point where we want to be doing that. But it is something that's come up.
Let's get the ordinance first.
Yeah. We also have not received any comments at this time. Any questions for me at all? This is something too that, I'm just introducing it right now. certainly don't have to take any action on it, don't have to move it forward. If you want me to, bring back more information or more time, we can certainly continue it next month, or we could keep going ahead with this.
Well, I'm going to make a comment. When I first started reading this, yesterday afternoon when I got the mail, it was, why are we looking to make things, another bit of regulation, making more things complicated? And the second and third reading, it changed things. So I'm assuming this would affect rentals that are currently in operation. They would need to, if, some are known. So you're saying right now you're not interested in digging for the ones that we don't know about, but I'm assuming that the ones we do know about would be suggested that they be in compliance?
I would need to probably consult with our county attorney on that. I think for licensing, yes. I think they would likely need to be licensed on the environmental health side. As far as needing a administrative permit for zoning, or if they'd be considered grandfathered in, I would say that they could potentially just be grandfathered in, but I don't think they'd be grandfathered into the licensing requirements. And that mainly deals with, safety, water, making sure water is safe to drink, and then septic or sewage.
The environmental
Yep.
portion of it is why I, maybe this isn't such a, that's where I became,
Sure.
changed my mind on it. Because, if, we make even the temporary campgrounds where they, are setting up batch plants they have to have, fire stuff and outhouses and, there's something written in the code even for temporary. So,
Yeah, and I should add too that the type of permit as well that's being suggested as part of this amendment would not be something that would come before the planning commission. It would just be an administrative permit.
that was my comment.
Mr. Chair and Matt, can you just walk us through if someone makes an inquiry, they apply for the permit, I suppose, or license, I guess? Who would be showing up? What's the normal steps that would be before it is approved or granted? Public health is in there, obviously.
The first thing that they would need to have would be the licensing through environmental health. So they would need to have that. They could apply for that concurrently, or they could apply for that beforehand. Other than that, we would treat it similar to any other type of administrative permit application that our office receives. It's likely that environmental health would be doing just like an on-site visit. We wouldn't necessarily need to do that, but we would just need to make sure that it would meet it could meet all of the standards in the ordinance for zoning.
Mr. Chair, this is a conversation that's happening a lot, kind of at the state level, but particularly with counties wanting to make sure that one thing that resonated with you, it's not necessarily that we don't want to find who is currently engaging in having a vacation home rental, but we do want to have some sort of framework so that it is a cohesive plan for how we move forward with things. I know Otter Tail has been really part of the dialogue as well. I know that there's conversations at the state about if you have a hot tub, in a short-term rental component, it used to be that it was a public pool. Well, now there's been some laws that have changed, so it's not necessarily a public pool. It's allowable, but you know, we do have to have some sort of framework to help with that. So again, it's not us trying to add a whole nother level of bureaucracy, but what we are trying to do is streamline the process so that it is more user-friendly for folks that are looking at maybe creating a VRBO out of a residence or something like that.
Anyone else have any comments or questions or thoughts on what to do with this evening?
I think we should proceed forward with it.
And that's what I was thinking too. Why kick the can? This is, I mean, at the second and third reading, it became straightforward. To me, it takes me a while, but I did get it. And clarity by our county commissioner on the board, and I agree with Sebastian. So, hearing no other comments, I'm going to,
We closed the
for a
public
motion.
No, I think we're still in a public hearing, correct?
Yeah, I think we need to close it.
And we do have findings as well.
Okay. For a text, okay, would be the same as.
You need to make a motion to close the public hearing. I make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion to close the public hearing by Sebastian,
Second.
seconded by Kurt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I don't see a findings of facts in mine.
Pardon?
You see a findings of facts?
I just have Zavrel's.
Yeah.
Would you like me to read them, Mr. Chair?
Absolutely.
They're up on the screen.
Oh, they're there.
All right, so in granting a text amendment, the planning commission shall consider the effect of the proposed amendment upon the health, safety, morals, and general welfare of occupants of surrounding lands and the effect of the existing and anticipated land uses, and especially the effect on agricultural uses and the degree to which the text amendment will affect nonconformities or variance requests. And I've kind of drafted two, an approval and denial finding, if you want to take a time to review that. Happy to read anything if you'd like me to. Can make the text bigger.
No, that paragraph is very self-explanatory, and I would definitely approve that paragraph as printed.
I agree. I like the fact that it creates a framework so people can move forward in a logical way.
Okay. Burden on public utilities. The development authorized by the text amendment will not create an excessive burden on any public facilities or utilities. Make this bigger too.
I agree. It's just basically someone else living there, then it's already probably been existing for who knows how long.
All right, ready to move on to 2? Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Okay. Consistency with the ordinance. The text amendment is consistent with the general purposes of this ordinance. This bigger too.
Yes, absolutely. Especially protecting the public health with environmental standards.
Number 3, conflict with the comprehensive plan. The text amendment is consistent with the goals and objectives of the Clay County Comprehensive and Transportation Plan.
Agree?
Close to what you and Jenny said, it lays out a clear and concise process.
And for a text amendment, those are the 4 review standards.
Now, I will, after going through the findings of fact and getting a positive comment on approval for all 4 points, I look for a motion to send this recommendation to the County Board of Commissioners. We are not approving it per se, this text amendment. We are saying that we approve of this being passed on to the next level.
And, sorry, go ahead. I was just going to add, Mr. Chair, too, there is that option. I don't know if you want to discuss about the type of, if you want to include the performance standard about recreational vehicles, tents, fish houses, or leave that out for now. I will say, just after reading this a few more times, I can envision getting a call about someone asking if they could do like an igloo or a sandcastle or, you know, something else that's not a recreational vehicle, tent or
Yurt.
fish house. Yeah. A cave, a hobbit house, you know, so.
I don't know, the Hobbit House.
So I don't know if, I mean, that'd be kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
That would be definitely be allowed. So I don't know if that's something you want me to maybe workshop a little bit more before bringing it to the county board, or leave it as is, or just leave it out completely.
So in, okay, for approval,
I understand the value of identifying some of those things, but how far do you go on some of those things is the next question. The more details you put into it, the tougher it probably is to really get it all figured out. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud here.
I guess, Mr. Chair, too, the other maybe point to make about for leaving it out is there is a standard in there that would only allow for 1 unit per parcel. So if someone had a house or a cabin and then tried to also use a fish house or something on that parcel, that would be 2 units, and they couldn't do that. So that would be maybe an argument for not including that.
I'm thinking leaving it out for now.
I would be in favor of moving for approval with leaving that out as well. It being its limits, whatever you considered a living arrangement, it's only 1 allowed, so that's my position.
see a bunch of nods. Okay. The consensus is to leave it out. It's already at 1. So do we have a motion? To do this tonight or kick it down the road?
I make that motion to do it tonight.
Okay, Sebastian makes a motion to approve it with leaving out that paragraph. Do I have a second?
Second, yeah.
Seconded by Kurt and Jeff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. We are sending it on to the county commission for them to look at. Thanks, everyone. Matt, do you have any unfinished business?
I do not, Mr. Chair.
How about new business?
I do not. I don't know if Commissioner Mojo, if you want to talk about the hunting at all, or
Yes, I would love to talk about that again. Thanks.
sorry to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. Most of you know there was a position that the state legislature put counties in there was a change that was made legislatively to make all counties, some counties along I-94 and south, including us, had shotgun zone specific, but the legislative change was that as of January 1st, all counties would move to allow rifles, which is not a problem, but they also allowed counties the opportunity to make local changes if they so chose, I guess. We had a work session, we worked with the attorney's office, the sheriff's department. The sheriff had pretty strong feelings on continuing to have some sort of carve out. If you recall, Clay County used to be shotgun zone basically west of 32 and then kind of down to 34 and then down to the interstate is where they cut in. So we had a public hearing. We had probably 60 folks in the boardroom 2 weeks ago. We received another 35 official on the record comments. The best thing about it is everyone has very wide varying opinions. And so we were tasked with the challenge of trying to figure out where we would land on something that looked like what the people wanted, but also one, we know we can revisit it in a year, which we'll need to. So this morning, the county board did make a change to align, and we had several different proposals. We did make a change to align with hunting zones in Clay County. So basically, the only change is we added 666, which is basically east of 9, north of Highway 10, in that district, to rifle for the upcoming hunting season. South of Highway 10, actually the rest of everything will then be shotgun zone only, although the 32 and east will continue to stay. I don't have the numbers written down for me, but there's basically 4 zones in Clay County. And so that was the major change. I know that people are very upset. I've had lots of conversations of folks that are mad they got put in, people that are mad they didn't get put in. I will say what I'm most proud of is that we had a full room of folks offering their perspective, and they were very respectful and understood the process. And the legislature did not afford local entities to testify on those bills, but we did have, I would say, lots of local testimony. So we'll see how it goes, and I don't know. I hunt in zone 666, and I will say I will still likely use my Savage shotgun. So, any perspectives?
Well, I'm glad that I can hunt in Hagan Township legally with a rifle,
Yeah, there you go.
because, that's where Jordan lives.
Anything?
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, you bet.
Chair and Commissioner Mojo, does this need to be revisited at a later date?
It will need to be revisited in 2027 at the end of the hunting season. We did not put a date on it, like a January 1st expiration. And looking into, well, legal is looking into, what is that threshold? Understanding we've had things come before us that it seems like it's continually brought up every year. And so, one, we'll have the flexibility to bring this one up again. I'm not sure what that threshold is. I don't think we need to visit it every single year. The sheriff is glad that we do have the ability to revisit it. So. But I will say, we are the only county in the state that did have a special carve-out. So I would say that that tells me that we're really responsive to, I mean, we literally had, it was like a 65-35 comment spread in person, then it was more 50-50 online, and then, so there was a lot of wide-ranging.
Yeah, I attended that initial hearing, and it was, everybody said their piece and waited their turn, and it was respectful. Okay. I guess hearing nothing else, I will like to remind everyone that Pollinator Pint Night is Thursday from 4 to 7 at Junkyard Brewing. It's put on by the Soil and Water. It's a yearly event. It's a local grower from Glendon that donates the honey. There's workshops that go on, family-oriented. So support your local small businesses. Hearing nothing further, look for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Josh. Seconded by Laura. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried, meeting is adjourned.